Today, we're going to drive the Bugatti Chiron for the first time since the accident. We come so close in the last video to being able to drive it, but we did manage to fit the new interior and the new radiators.
The story of Mat Armstrong rebuilding a crashed Bugatti Chiron per Sport sounds like something from a movie, but it actually happened in real life. Most people would never even touch a damaged Bugatti because these cars are among the most expensive and complicated machines ever built. A Bugatti Chiron per Sport costs around $6 million, and only a very small number of them exist in the entire world. When one of these rare hypercars was badly crashed and later sent to auction, almost everyone believed the car was finished forever. Even Bugatti itself believed the repair would be too difficult and too expensive. But then Mat Armstrong entered the story. Mat is not a factory engineer or a Bugatti technician. He is a YouTuber from Leicester, England, who became famous for rebuilding damaged supercars on his channel. He has repaired Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Bentleys, and many other high-end cars before, but this Bugatti project was on a completely different level. The challenge was massive because the car had serious damage to the front end, the gearbox area, and many important systems inside the car. Bugatti reportedly wanted around $1.7 million to repair it through official channels, and when the owner refused, the company stopped supporting the project. The car's VIN was effectively blacklisted, which made it extremely difficult to get official parts. Most people thought the rebuild was impossible. That is exactly why millions of people became interested in the project. It was no longer just about fixing a car. It became the story of a normal guy trying to prove that creativity, hard work, and determination could compete with one of the biggest luxury car brands in the world. From the very beginning, the project carried huge drama and tension, and viewers around the world wanted to see whether Mat Armstrong could actually bring the dead Bugatti back to life. When the damaged Bugatti Chiron per Sport arrived at Mat Armstrong's workshop, the scale of the challenge quickly became clear. The crash had destroyed many important parts of the car. The front end was heavily damaged. Several radiators were broken, and the gearbox mount had snapped during the accident. This was not the type of repair that an ordinary garage could handle. Bugatti hypercars are built with extremely advanced engineering, and many people believe that only the Bugatti factory itself could repair one properly. Even simple maintenance on these cars usually requires special tools and software from the Bugatti factory in Molsheim, France. But Mat Armstrong decided to move forward anyway. One of the most incredible moments came when he and his team had to split the Bugatti in half to inspect the damage properly. Normally, Bugatti uses expensive factory equipment for this process, but Mat and his father managed to do it using basic workshop tools, and even the wheelbase of the garbage can. That moment became one of the most famous scenes in the entire rebuild series, because it perfectly showed the difference between factory perfection and independent creativity. Instead of relying on expensive equipment, they found a way to make the job work with what they had available. Once the car was separated, they discovered the damage was even worse than expected. The engine had shifted forward during the crash. Coolant pipes had been crushed, and several systems needed major work. However, there was also good news. The massive W16 engine itself had survived without catastrophic damage. That gave the team hope that the project could actually succeed. The gearbox mount was another huge problem because Bugatti designed it to break during accidents in order to protect other areas of the car. Since official replacement parts were unavailable, Mat's team worked with specialists who carefully TIG welded the mount back together. Many people online doubted whether such a repair was possible, but the team kept pushing forward. Every step of the rebuild showed how difficult and risky the project truly was, and that only made the audience more invested in seeing the final result as the rebuild continued. The project became even more interesting because Mat Armstrong and his team started finding creative solutions for problems that most people believed had no solution. Since official Bugatti parts were nearly impossible to obtain, the team had to improvise constantly. One of the most talked about examples involved the airbags. Instead of using impossible-to-find Bugatti replacements, they discovered that airbags from an Audi A3 could work inside the Chiron per Sport, because both brands are connected to the Volkswagen Group. That detail shocked many viewers because it showed that even a $6 million Bugatti sometimes shares hidden components with much more normal cars. Another important figure during the rebuild was Bob from the machine shop. Bob became almost legendary among viewers because of the incredible custom fabrication work he performed. The Chiron uses 10 radiators, and several of them have been destroyed in the accident. Since replacement parts were unavailable, Bob built custom radiators from scratch. He also spent around 60 hours creating a completely custom front crash bar for the car. He did not have Bugatti's official blueprints or engineering files, yet he still managed to produce parts that matched the original design closely enough to fit perfectly. This part of the story became very important because it showed how skilled independent craftsmen can sometimes compete with major manufacturers through pure experience and problem-solving ability. The rebuild was no longer simply about restoring a damaged hypercar. It became a larger discussion about right to repair, engineering freedom, and the growing power of independent creators on the internet. Millions of viewers watched every update because the project represented more than just a car. It represented the idea that modern technology and knowledge are no longer controlled only by giant corporations. Mat Armstrong also upgraded several parts of the Bugatti during the rebuild. The exhaust system was redesigned with help from Valvetronic, creating a louder and more aggressive sound than the original factory setup. The interior was completely retrimmed in a beautiful white and purple design that made the car feel even more unique. Instead of simply returning the Chiron to factory condition, the team was slowly transforming it into something personal and special. The rebuild became even more dramatic when Bugatti CEO Mat Armstrong publicly commented on the project. That moment instantly pushed the story to another level because it showed that one of the world's most exclusive car companies was actually paying attention to a YouTuber rebuilding one of their cars. Mat Armstrong raised concerns about safety, especially regarding the damaged gearbox housing and structural areas of car. To be fair, many of his concerns were understandable. A Bugatti Chiron produces around 1,500 horsepower, and mistakes during repairs could potentially create serious dangers. However, many viewers also felt that Bugatti was trying too hard to control the situation and discourage independent repairs. Mat Armstrong remained calm during the controversy and explained that he understood the risks involved. He repeatedly stated that he wanted to prove the rebuild could be done responsibly outside of Bugatti's official network. The internet quickly turned the disagreement into a huge debate. Some people believe Bugatti was right because safety should always come first, while others supported Mat Armstrong and saw him as an underdog fighting against a powerful corporation. The conflict created massive attention online, and every new video update attracted millions of views. At the center of the debate was the issue of ownership and repair rights. Many people asked a simple question: if someone legally owns a car, should they have the freedom to repair however they choose? The Bugatti project became a symbol of the larger right-to-repair movement that affects many industries today, including phones, computers, tractors, and luxury vehicles. Mat Armstrong's rebuild showed that manufacturers now have enormous control over their products even after customers purchase them. The blacklisted VIN situation became one of the biggest talking points because it prevented normal access to parts and support. Yet despite all the obstacles, the rebuild continued moving forward. Mat and his team worked long hours, solving problem after problem with patience and creativity. Instead of giving up when new challenges appeared, they adapted and found new solutions. That determination became one of the strongest emotional elements of the entire story. People were no longer watching just to see a Bugatti repaired. They were watching because they admired the mindset behind the project. The rebuild represented persistence, innovation, and the refusal to accept the word impossible. One of the most emotional moments in the entire rebuild happened when the Bugatti's engine finally started for the first time after crash. By that stage, months of work had already gone into the project. The team had repaired coolant systems, reconnected electrical systems, rebuilt damaged components, and carefully reassembled the car piece by piece. There was enormous pressure surrounding the engine's startup because nobody knew whether hidden damage inside the W16 engine might still destroy the project. Running a Bugatti engine without proper cooling can cause catastrophic failure very quickly, and the team knew that one major problem could end everything. When the moment finally arrived, cameras were rolling, the workshop was quiet, and everyone waited nervously. Then the engine fired successfully. The sound of the W16 coming back to life was one of the most satisfying moments in the entire series. For viewers who had followed the rebuild from the beginning, It felt like a huge victory. The impossible project was suddenly real again. Even more impressive, the Bugatti was later driven under its own power for the first time since the accident. Watching the damaged hypercar roll out of the workshop created an emotional payoff that few automotive videos have ever achieved. The rebuild proved that determination and independent skill could overcome challenges that many experts considered impossible. Mat Armstrong's audience exploded during this period because people love stories where ordinary individuals achieve extraordinary goals. The rebuild also changed how many viewers thought about modern hypercars. The project revealed that behind all the luxury branding and exclusivity, these vehicles are still machines built by human beings and therefore reparable by skilled people outside the factory environment. The famous details from the rebuild became symbols of this idea. The Audi A3 airbags, the custom radiators, the TIG welded gearbox mount, and the garbage can chassis split all represented creativity, defeating limitation. Some people still argue that the car should only have been repaired by Bugatti itself, but many others admire the fact that Mat Armstrong successfully brought the car back to life through pure determination. The project also demonstrated how powerful YouTube storytelling can become when viewers emotionally connect with creator and a long-term challenge. Millions of people around the world waited for each new update because they wanted to see whether the impossible dream would finally succeed as the rebuild moved closer to completion. Many people began arguing that Mat Armstrong's Bugatti might actually be better than the original factory version in several ways. One reason for this belief was the custom exhaust system developed during the project. The new setup gave the Chiron a louder, more aggressive sound that many fans preferred over the quieter factory tuning. The interior was also redesigned with custom colors and materials that made the car feel more personal and unique. Instead of simply copying Bugatti's original design, the rebuild gave the car its own identity and story. That story became one of the car's greatest strengths. A normal Bugatti Chiron Per Sport is already special because of its rarity and performance, but Mat Armstrong's car became famous worldwide because of everything it survived. The repaired gearbox mount, the hand-built radiators, and the months of hard work turned the hypercar into something far more meaningful than just another expensive vehicle. It became a symbol of independent engineering and determination. Eventually, Bugatti reportedly relaxed its position regarding the rebuild, which many viewers saw as an important moment in the story. The company that originally seemed strongly against the project appeared to recognize that Mat Armstrong was not going to quit. In many ways, the internet itself helped change the situation because millions of viewers supported the rebuild and celebrated every success. The project showed how powerful online creators have become in today's world. A single YouTuber with enough talent and audience support was able to challenge the image and authority of one of the most exclusive automotive brands on earth. Beyond the entertainment value, the rebuild also sparked serious conversations about ownership, repair rights, and corporate control. Many viewers began questioning whether manufacturers should have so much power over products after they are sold. The Bugatti rebuild became larger than a simple automotive story because it touched on issues that affect modern technology everywhere. Today, the car is still one of the most talked about projects in automotive YouTube history. Mat Armstrong proved that a determined creator with skill, creativity, and persistence could achieve something that many experts believed was impossible. The story inspired millions of people because it reminded them that innovation does not belong only to giant corporations. Sometimes it comes from ordinary people willing to take risks, solve problems, and refuse to give up when everyone else says a challenge cannot be done. The success of the rebuild also changed Mat Armstrong's position in the automotive world forever. Before the Bugatti project, he was already well known among car enthusiasts for rebuilding damaged supercars, but this challenge pushed him into an entirely different category. Millions of people who had never watched automotive content before suddenly became interested in the story because it felt bigger than cars. The rebuild had drama, conflict, risk, engineering, and an underdog hero fighting against impossible odds. Every upload created excitement across YouTube, social media, and automotive forums. Viewers debated whether the rebuild was genius or madness, but almost everyone agreed that it was fascinating to watch. Mat Armstrong's calm personality also played an important role in the project's popularity. Even when facing criticism from experts or negative comments online, He usually stayed focused on solving the next problem instead of creating unnecessary drama. That attitude made many viewers respect him even more. Throughout the rebuild, Matt often admitted that he did not know everything and was learning as he went. Instead of pretending to be perfect, he showed the audience the mistakes, setbacks, and stressful moments along the way. That honesty made the series feel authentic and human. Another reason the project became so successful was the balance between technical detail and emotional storytelling. Car enthusiasts enjoyed watching complex repairs and engineering solutions, while casual viewers became emotionally invested in the story of someone refusing to quit. The Bugatti rebuild also showed how modern YouTube creators can sometimes compete with large traditional companies in ways that were impossible years ago. A single creator with enough skill, creativity, and audience support can now influence global conversations and attract attention from major brands. In many ways, Mat Armstrong's Bugatti project became one of the defining automotive stories of the internet era. Even people who were not interested in hypercars could appreciate the determination behind the rebuild. The project proved that passion and persistence can sometimes overcome obstacles that appear unbeatable at first glance. The future of the Bugatti rebuild story is still exciting because the project continues to evolve even after the first successful drive. The car may already run and move on its own power, but there is still work left before it becomes fully complete and perfectly roadworthy. Hypercars like the Chiron Per Sport are incredibly complicated machines with advanced electronics, cooling systems, suspension setups, and software controls that all need to work together perfectly. Mat Armstrong and his team still face challenges ahead. But after everything they already accomplished, millions of viewers now believe they can finish the job completely. The rebuild also inspired many younger viewers who dream of working with cars one day. Watching someone solve massive engineering problems inside a normal workshop made the automotive world feel more accessible and less intimidating. Instead of showing cars as untouchable luxury objects, the project showed them as machines that skilled people can understand and repair. That message connected strongly with audiences around the world. Mat Armstrong also started another Bugatti project involving a Bugatti Veyron, proving that he was not afraid to continue taking on impossible challenges. Fans are already waiting to see whether the same creativity and determination can succeed again. Looking back at the Chiron rebuild, the most powerful part of the story is not really the car itself. It is the idea that ordinary people can still achieve extraordinary things through patience, hard work, and belief in themselves. The Bugatti represented one of the most exclusive and expensive products in the automotive industry. Yet a determined YouTuber from Leicester still found a way to bring one back from the dead. That is why the story became so popular online. It was not just about horsepower, carbon fiber, or expensive parts. It was about proving that impossible challenges can sometimes be overcome by people willing to think differently and never give up. Years from now, many people will still remember this rebuild as one of the greatest automotive YouTube projects ever created. Another reason this Bugatti rebuild became so unforgettable was the emotional connection viewers developed with the people involved in the project. Over time, the audience stopped seeing the rebuild as just another internet video series. It started to feel personal. Every small victory felt rewarding because viewers had already watched months of setbacks, failed attempts, damaged parts, and stressful moments inside the workshop. When the engine finally started, many fans described it as one of the most satisfying moments they had ever seen on automotive YouTube. That emotional reaction is very rare because most car content online focuses only on speed, luxury, or expensive modifications. Mat Armstrong's Bugatti series succeeded because it focused on people and persistence instead of only machinery. The project also highlighted the importance of teamwork. Even though Mat Armstrong became the face of the rebuild, many skilled people played important roles behind the scenes. Bob from a machine shop became one of the most respected figures in the series because of his incredible fabrication skills. Other specialists helped with the interior restoration, electronics, welding, paintwork, and mechanical repairs. The rebuild showed that huge projects are rarely completed by one person alone. Success usually comes from groups of talented people working together toward the same goal. Viewers enjoyed seeing those relationships develop throughout the project because it made the workshop feel genuine and relatable. The rebuild also introduced many people to the world of engineering and fabrication in a fun and entertaining way. Younger viewers especially became interested in learning how cars work after watching the series. Instead of making engineering look boring or impossible to understand, the videos made problem-solving feel exciting and creative. That educational side of the project became another reason why the series attracted such a massive audience online. The Bugatti rebuild also created important discussions about how modern luxury brands protect their image and reputation. Companies like Bugatti carefully control almost every part of their public image because exclusivity is one of the main reasons their cars are so valuable. When a crashed Chiron appeared online being repaired inside an independent workshop, many people felt that Bugatti became uncomfortable because the rebuild removed some of the mystery surrounding these hypercars. Normally, Bugatti vehicles are presented as almost untouchable engineering masterpieces that only factory specialists can fully understand. Mat Armstrong's project challenged that idea by showing the repair process step by step for millions of viewers to watch. People suddenly saw that even a $6 million Bugatti still uses bolts, pipes, airbags, radiators, and ordinary engineering principles like any other car. Of course, the Chiron is still an incredible machine with extremely advanced technology, but the rebuild reminded viewers that these cars are still built by humans and can therefore be repaired by humans. That idea may sound simple, but it carries huge meaning in the modern automotive world. Many manufacturers now use software locks, special tools, and restricted access systems that make independent repairs extremely difficult. The Bugatti story became part of the wider conversation about whether companies should have so much control over products after they are sold. Mat Armstrong's success did not destroy Bugatti's reputation. In many ways, it actually increased public interest in the brand because millions of people became fascinated by the engineering inside the Chiron. However, the project also showed that passionate independent creators now have the power to challenge traditional automotive systems in ways that were once impossible. The internet gave Mat Armstrong a platform large enough to turn a single damaged Bugatti into a global story, followed by millions of people in the end. The rebuild of the Bugatti Chiron Per Sport will probably be remembered as one of the greatest automotive stories ever told on YouTube. The project had everything that makes people emotionally invested in a long-running story. There was danger, uncertainty, conflict, creativity, risk, and finally success. A car that was considered destroyed by many experts slowly returned to life through determination and problem-solving. Mat Armstrong never claimed to be the smartest engineer in the world or the most qualified Bugatti specialist. Instead, he approached the challenge with curiosity, patience, and the willingness to keep learning. That attitude inspired millions of viewers because it showed that expertise is not only created through official titles or expensive training programs. Sometimes it is built through years of hands-on experience, mistakes, experimentation, and persistence. The rebuilt Chiron is now far more than just an expensive hypercar. It has become a symbol of independent creativity and modern internet culture. Years from now, people will still talk about the garbage can chassis split, the Audi A3 airbags, the handmade radiators, and the moment the W16 engine finally roared back to life. Those moments transformed the rebuild into something legendary within the automotive community. Whether someone believes the finished Bugatti is truly better than the original factory version is ultimately a matter of personal opinion. Some people will always prefer factory perfection, while others admire the rebuilt car because of the incredible story behind it. But almost everyone agrees on one thing. Mat Armstrong achieved something extraordinary. He took on one of the hardest automotive rebuilds imaginable and proved that determination, creativity, and teamwork can sometimes accomplish what the world believes is impossible.